In this video we're going to look at the unexpected end error. We're going to look at why it might occur, how we can help to not get this error in future, and we're going to be looking at fixing this error that I've forced on this page. You can see that I'm passing through a get variable to the URL. We've got a variable name of name and the value here is Alex. I've written an entirely pointless piece of code which doesn't make sense in the slightest and doesn't do anything at all, but it's just to demonstrate this error and how we can pinpoint the error as well, which is obviously the most important thing in terms of going ahead and fixing it. So why do we get this error? Well, the reason we get this error is relatively straightforward. You just have to think about it logically. We've got an unexpected end. So on line 20 here, so it's essentially saying we've got an unexpected end of file, and this error is most likely caused by incorrect blocks. So when you are writing a block of code, for example within an if statement, we've got if is set get name, so we're checking if this has been set in the URL. We execute this entire block here, which makes sense. We've then got a switch here with a block within here. So we are just basically creating if statements, switch statements with blocks. If we have, say, this else here, and we have this block here, to someone that's not extremely experienced, which I'm guessing why you might be watching this video, you might not be able to pinpoint the error straight away, and you might not be able to automatically see what's wrong with my code as it is. However, that's the point of this video. I'm going to go through exactly how we can try and pinpoint this error. Now we know that the error came back on line 20, which might seem odd. You might think, well, what's wrong with my error on line line 20? There's nothing wrong with line 20. It's just saying it's an unexpected end on line 20. That's probably an important thing, to get used to. When you have an error on a specific line, it doesn't always mean that the code on that line is wrong. It means that the error has occurred on that line, probably due to something before it. So let's take a look at the code step by step, and if you've already pointed out where the error has been caused, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video anyway. But let's go ahead and take a look at why this error has occurred. So we've got an unexpected end on line 20. We'll ignore the fact it's on line 20 for now, and let's go ahead and look at our code. Now we've got an if statement here. I'm using, the text editor that I'm using, Notepad++, will highlight blocks of code for me. So you can see now that I'll click away and click onto this block. This first curly bracket here has been highlighted in red. You can see that. Now you'll also notice that this ending block here, or the ending curly bracket for the block, has been highlighted in red as well, and that shows that we've got a complete block here. So we've got a start here and an end here, and obviously I've indented everything in between this, and that makes it obvious that we've got a complete block. The same with the switch as well. You can see that that's highlighted in red now, and we've indented. And just before we continue, the importance of indenting here is, it's vital to be able to pinpoint errors such as this. So if you're not indenting your code properly, or if you're using spaces to indent and not doing it properly with tabs so everything's neat and lined up, then I recommend you do so. So we've got the first if statement starts here and ends here. We can see that it's on the same line, which is acceptable. We know this already, and the same with the switch. Now when I click next to the curly bracket near the else, you'll notice that nothing's highlighting, which is odd because we've got the ending bracket here. But now that you can see I've clicked next to the ending bracket here, this here has highlighted. Now what we're in fact missing is a bracket or a curly brace for this if statement here. You can see that if we get rid of this, that's perfectly fine. This would run absolutely fine. Let's refresh. Works fine. However, what we are missing is a bracket after here. Although it doesn't look obvious, and although we might think, well, we've got a bracket ending here, we could just go like that, but that's not really properly solving. Well, it's solving our problem, but it's not giving us, a visual key to what the problem is. What we do need here is a bracket here. And now you can see that these two are highlighted. So most good text editors will do this, and you can see that because we were missing the curly bracket here, it thought that this was the ending for this, and therefore that's why we got an unexpected end of file here. So with careful indenting, so for example, if our code looked like, let's just indent that again. If our code looked like this, and say you weren't using a text editor which highlighted blocks, you're going to find it extremely difficult to try and pinpoint things like this, especially if you have lots of nested if statements. Obviously, it's not ideal to have lots of nested if statements, but if you are doing that for whatever reason, then careful indentation is key to saying, well, where's the ending block after this if statement here? It's not this one here. We know that we should have a brace here lined up with the start of this if statement. So when we add in this brace here, we no longer get this unexpected end of file, and we're not returned with an error. So this isn't the only, an unexpected end isn't the only, the only problem isn't that we may have not included an end bracket. We may have other problems as well, but this is the most common. Sort of 9 times out of 10, if you have an unexpected end of file, you're missing a curly bracket somewhere towards the end of a file here. Hence why we get the error on the last line of the file. So that's just one of the reasons we get this this error. And we've taken a look through our blocks and fixed this up. So if you are getting this error, make sure you're carefully examining your blocks, carefully indenting, and if possible use a text editor that lets you highlight the start and the end of blocks.